morning, church.
Good morning.
So I may not be here next week. I'm not sure. I'm starting a job with a trucking company. I may be gone for more than 1 week. I'm not sure yet. So I was going to do this what Christians believe before I left. I try to make it kind of lengthy. So if you can go to Revelation chapter 8. And this is going to be verses 1 through 9. Just read it first.
Amen.
When he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. And I saw the 7 angels which stood before God. And to them were given 7 trumpets. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer, and there was given to him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all saints on the golden altar which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense, which came with the prayers of the saints, ascended up before God out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer and filled it with fire of the altar, and cast it into the earth. And there were voices and thunderings, lightnings, and an earthquake. And the 7 angels which had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. And the third part of trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. And the second angel sounded, and as it were, a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. And the third part of the sea became blood. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died. And the third part of the ships were destroyed. So when Christ opens the 7th seal, which is the last one, there is silence in heaven, complete silence. It doesn't say that this is exactly half an hour, but about the space of half an hour. We don't know what the silence is about. Some commentators say the silence is shock at what's happening. It could be when you open a seal, it reveals that part of the book that was locked. So maybe what they see written on the book is shocking. Verse 2, then John sees 7 angels, which stood before God, and they were given 7 trumpets. And another angel comes and stands at the altar. This is the place where you sacrifice, having a golden censer. A censer is a vessel or a container, maybe a dish. And there was given to him much incense. Incense is a powder. It's a censer is something that you put incense in. So he has a golden censer, and he's given much incense, which is, of course, to burn it, to offer it. That he should offer it with the prayers. So he's going to offer the prayers and the incense of all saints on the golden altar, which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense, he burns it, which came with the prayers of the saints, ascended up before God out of the angel's hand. The smoke and the prayers go up before God. Then the angel takes the censer and fills it with fire from the altar and casts it into the earth, cast or throws. So he takes the censer and he throws it down to the earth. And the result, there were voices, thunderings, lightnings, and an earthquake. It doesn't tell us how severe either one of those are. Could be a very severe earthquake, could not be. I don't really know what the voices are. I don't know if that's human voices or the actual Greek word means sounds, but I don't know if that means actual voices or just noises. The censer may cause noises on the earth, thunderings, lightnings, and an earthquake. Then the 7 angels, which had the 7 trumpets, prepared themselves to sound. Then, whatever order they're in, the first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood. This is a hailstorm, hail. Doesn't tell us how severe the hailstorm is. If you read chapter 16, there's another hailstorm that comes. But that tells us it's very grievous. So it tells us how severe that hail is. It doesn't tell us how severe this hailstorm is. Though I believe it is, because with the hail falls fire. And this fire, not the hail, but the fire is mingled or mixed with blood. Listen for a second to, this is Exodus, this is chapter 9, verses 23 through 25. This is, of course, in Egypt, when God was raining down the plagues. This is one of them. Moses, this is verse 23, chapter 9. Moses stretched forth his rod toward heaven, and the Lord sent thunder and hail, and the fire ran along upon the ground, and the Lord rained hail on the land of Egypt. So there was hail and fire mingled with the hail. So at that time, back then, the hail was mixed with fire. It says, very grievous, such as there was none like it in all the land of Egypt since it became a nation. And the hail smote throughout all the land of Egypt, so the hail was everywhere in Egypt. All that was in the field, the hail struck all that was in the field, which could mean plants or beast, both man and beast. And the hail smote every herb of the field and brake every tree. So, back then in Egypt, same kind of thing. Hail mixed with fire. This is hail and fire. But the fire is mixed with blood, not the hail. But they fall together. The hail and fire mixed with blood. And they were cast upon the earth. That's a phrase you're going to see a lot in this chapter. They were cast upon the earth. That's deliberate. They were thrown on the earth. That's deliberate. Heaven is attacking earth. They were thrown on the earth. The result of the hail and fire mixed with blood, and the third part of trees was burnt up. Burnt up means completely consumed. And the third part of trees, that means a third of all the trees on the earth are gone.
Wow.
It takes a tree, it could take a tree hours to burn completely. Maybe days. It could differ. So this burning could be a long time. It doesn't tell us how long some of these judgments are. If you go back to chapter 6 and you have the 6 seals, it doesn't tell you how long they are. It doesn't tell you the duration. It just tells you what happens. But trees could take a long time to completely burn. And for a third part of all the trees to burn, this could be a long time of just burning. So a third of all the trees are burned, and all green grass is burned up. Not a third. All green grass is burnt up, consumed. This is not green grass like we think, like in your yard. This is plants. The word for grass in the Greek is plant, not green grass. So all green plants, which means shrubs, whatever plants, leaves, all green grass.
Bushes and stuff.
Right. All green grass is completely consumed. Not a third, all of it. And that could take a long time also. Then the second angel sounds. This is figurative. How do you know? Because it says, and as it were. This is not literal, at least in the description. And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain. So this is not a great mountain, but it's as it were. As it were a great mountain burning with fire. The burning is literal, but this is not an actual mountain. As it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. That phrase again, cast into the sea, deliberate, was thrown into the sea. I believe that this is a meteorite.
Meteor.
It makes sense, as it were a great mountain burning with fire. We know that when a meteorite enters the Earth's atmosphere, it hits all the Earth's gases and it lights. It becomes lit. It looks to us, as we dub it, a shooting star. It's not actually a star, but that's what it looks like from a human vantage point. It's what we see. So this is what the second trumpet releases. And the size of this asteroid is as a big mountain. So it's bigger in size, bigger than usual. Some commentator says this asteroid is the size of a continent. As it were, a big mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. The result, the third part of the sea became blood. That's not figurative. I don't know if that's literal blood. Could be though. It happened in Exodus also, when Moses put his staff in the river. The river became blood. It could be literal blood. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died. Some say that that's why the third part of the sea becomes blood, because maybe all the third part of the creatures that die, their blood could be, could not be. Could be just blood. The creatures could die because of the water turns to blood. And the third part of the ships were destroyed. So when the second trumpet sounds, there's a big asteroid that comes and it hits the sea. Neither one of these trumpets say that man is their targets. It's the earth, so far at least. And we don't know how long the second trumpet endures. They could overlap each other, as the 6 seals could. While the earth is still burning, the second trumpet could go off. While the earth is still burning. We don't know if they overlap each other or not.